barely. We're kind of calming down a little bit. So, yeah, taking a breath.
I know a couple things that you want to cover. First off, let's go through the rolling outages, if you will. Had the opportunity to listen to Nebraska Public Power District earlier talk about some of those outages and why they are taking place. And it was a great overview and kind of give everyone an update where we stand regionally wise. I know that maybe we haven't seen as much as maybe Lincoln and Omaha has, but those outages have taken place here in our area.
That's correct. Yeah, so one of the first ones up this morning was Cumro and Oconto. Also, what we call a Brocia substation in North Platte. And I think Bedford and Mullen went off pretty close to right away this morning. So so they rolled through, MPPD rolled through 2 or 3 different breaker sets, and so we were involved with at least 2 of those 3. They were lasting longer than what we anticipated. We were hoping that it'd be 30 minutes. They ended up being 45 minutes to an hour. Unfortunately, Bedford and Mullen ended up being close to 4 hours because of a malfunction in the Bedford substation. So we got there and got that back on. So that was one of the issues that popped up. Now, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go on.
No, go right ahead.
So in the middle of all that, all of a sudden we have a outage at the Broken Bow, what we call the Broken Bow delivery. That's where MPPD brings the power in, and then we take it out on our sub-T transmission to about 12 different substations. So, and it affects the city of Broken Bow. They had a 115 kV breaker blow a bushing, which almost never happens, but it has to happen in the middle of everything else that we got going on. So that threw us a wrench, and we got out there and was able to get things switched around. I think we got everybody back on, but that was not part of the planned rolling blackouts. That was a mechanical failure, and so was that extended outage up at Bedford. Both of those were mechanical, and we tried to get there as fast as we could. We're also doing some switching to get a backup for that Bedford area. We can feed that out at Broken Bow if we have to. So anyway, that's about where we're at. Things were happening this morning. Lots of things going on. Lots of people calling in. Just want to reiterate that if you do have an outage, please call it in. Don't assume that's part of it. Try not to use, I know we're really responsive on Facebook, but try not to use Facebook and Messenger and comments to report an outage. It's better that comes in through the calls. We'll kind of do what we can to give you information, but it's better if you call in to do that. For right now, I think we're kind of over this morning hurdle, and we need to worry a little bit about what's happening tonight. And one of the issues is going to be again tomorrow morning with load coming on. Hopefully it warms up in Texas and Oklahoma, and we don't have to worry so much about it. But until that happens, we got to worry a little bit. So, Gavin, in a nutshell, I think that's just about everything.
Well, and as I say, when it rains, it pours. I suppose it seemed like everything that could take place did happen.
Yeah, so we're. It's not an opportune time to find breakers blowing up, especially on the 115 side of the business, because those are big and those are cumbersome, and it takes a little bit to get that switched around. 34.5 breaker in Thetford. We're within 6-8 months from having brand new breakers in that facility, so I'm hoping things act a little bit different here towards the middle to late of 2021 up in that Thetford area. But anyway, just a lot of things going on. I know there's a lot of customers out there. There's a lot of calves on the ground. It's the least opportune time to have rolling blackouts, and I totally understand, and we're trying to do what we can. So.
And I know that, of course, we'll be due to those blackouts still asking people to call in. And I know earlier that you're receiving such a high volume of those calls that the line can kind of be tied up a little bit. Are you still encouraging people, even if they call in maybe one time and can't get through, to continue to call in until that outage might be reported?
Yes, and you might have an opportunity to leave a message that still gets recorded. If you want to talk to a live body, that's just fine. I think there's an opportunity to do that. You might need to call back. But yes, I don't, in these weather conditions, I don't want somebody assuming that somebody else called in and assuming that they're part of this blackout situation, because this can turn really bad in a number of hours, and I just don't want anybody out there suffering when they shouldn't be. So in other words, having an outage and thinking that they're a part of it, and when they're not. And so call in so that we know where you're at, and let us determine if you are a part of it. If you are, then we'll tell you that, and if you're not, then we'll get somebody heading that direction. So.
And again, that number, 888-749-2453. Well, Rick, thank you so much for giving everyone an update.
You bet.
Any final thoughts before I let you go and probably answer some more phone calls?
Yeah, we're about over the hump. Yesterday was a tough day. This morning was certainly tough. We get through tonight and tomorrow. I think we're in the clear. We've done this before. We've done this in ice storms. Just ask for patience, and we're doing what we can to get through this trying time. It's historic, so.
Yeah, I know I speak for many people. I want to thank you and your crews for what you guys have been doing. It's definitely not something you anticipated happening. We go from floods in 2019, pandemic last year, and you get to start off 2021 with power problems, I suppose. So definitely a year for the ages.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, I appreciate the time, Gavin. I certainly do.
Well, thank you so much Rick, for calling in, and hopefully we won't have to talk to you too many more times.
I hope not, but it's always good talking to you.
Thanks, Rick.
You bet.
Again, that's Rick Nelson, General Manager of Custer Public Power District. And as he mentioned, those outages that took place earlier today, not part of that rolling blackout, but it sounds like many of them have been fixed. Some problems that almost never happen seem to happen all in one day. And again, as Rick mentioned, even if an outage has taken place, please continue to try to call that in to let them know. That number, 888-749-2453. Thank you to Rick Nelson at Custer Public Power for giving us an update on our current power situation.
We are KBBN.